It is finished. Well done, everyone. Because of you, her restless soul has finally found peace. Professor, I imagine you have much on your mind. I was there the day she brought you forth into this world. Citri had always been frail. Giving birth proved to be too much for her in the end. On that fated day, it looked as though neither of you would survive. In those final moments, she spoke, saying, "My heart, give it to my child." That is correct. The heart that lies within your chest is none other than hers.
Oh, so yeah, if you played 3 houses, you get to learn about what's inside, why Violet has the power. That's really neat. I'm not going more into that in the credits, but, you know, that's really neat, really neat. Tying into the main story a bit.
It was the only way that you could be saved. But Citri loved others, much as a human might, and I loved her in return. Citri looked upon me as though I was her mother, and I wished for her to have a bright future. I would not have her buried in the cold, dark soil. Prior to her funeral, I arranged for a fake burial. Afterward, I brought her body to Abyss, where I would sometimes visit her. I never thought that anyone, especially Elfric, would find her. I did not expect for such a tragedy to ensue.
Boss, there's something you gotta tell me. Was Elfric really just using us all that time?
How should I know? I mean, he always acted that way around me, like we were a means to an end. But the church records indicate he founded the Ashen Wolf House 15 years ago. He mentioned he found Citri 10 years ago, so it seems he really did mean well, at first.
What's done is done. He's gone, and we're here. That's what matters now.
You're always so quick to adapt to change, Happy. I should follow your example.
Yeah, you always get to the heart of things quickly. Right then, I've got a lot to take care of now. I need to fill the church in on all the details about how things actually played out. And with my people freed from the monastery prison, they'll need to be accounted for.
Good luck with that whole mess. I'll be rooting for you from afar.
Surely you'll let us know if there is any way at all we can help. We'd be just thrilled.
Hell, if you want, your people can be my people. I could use some good mercenaries to watch my back.
Enough already. I get it.
It's no less than you deserve.
What you have sown, now you shall reap.
You made your bed, now shut up about it, pal.
Anyway, what do you figure will happen to Abyss? The church will want to step in, no doubt.
You got me. After everything that's happened, things can't stay the same. The church will probably assign an official to oversee things. Hopefully whoever they choose knows how to get along with Abyssians well.
Let's worry about all that some other time, yeah? I could really use a tall drink and a long sleep.
I'm with you. I hurt in places I didn't even know could hurt.
It has been a terribly long night indeed. One I won't ever forget.
A terribly long night, but a beautiful morning.
You mean to say that you are disbanding us?
Yes. After speaking with the Cardinals, my decision is final. The Ashen Wolf House was originally established for youths who are in need of the Church's protection. Somewhere along the way, that intent was corrupted, and it ultimately became a cage for you. The Ashen Wolves are officially disbanded. You can consider this a graduation of sorts.
You can doll this up by calling it graduating, but you're the one who sent me to Abyss to begin with. Now you waltz in here and tell us to just go live our lives as if none of this ever happened?
It's not too bad.
You may continue living in Abyss, of course,
They're free!
Abyss will always be a refuge for those who need it most.
Yeah, consider it freedom, like getting your own freedom.
Your chains have been unbound. You are free to live as you wish now.
You ask me, this feels like good timing. Sounds pretty alright, Rhea.
After all I have been through, I must say I feel immense gratitude at the prospect of living freely.
I wish you could meet Petra.
You're just going to let me go? While I was working with the church, I still did some unsavory things.
You have already been judged for your transgressions, Yuri. You have slain the undeserving. The weight of that is yours to bear. You have time to contemplate your actions now. That is punishment enough.
What's with the woe is me act? She's saying you're a free man.
True enough. It's up to me to determine how I'll live my life now. How I'll make up for what I've done.
You made up your mind quickly, despite having ample time to think it through.
Someone of my many talents must make decisions in short order. I'm in high demand after all. The Ferdiad Royal School of Sorcery demands my presence post-haste. How could I deny them? Soon, the name Nouvelle shall be renowned all throughout the Imperial capital. Prepare yourselves.
Didn't you already attend that school? Leaving and going back seems... well, good luck with that.
Maybe I'll try to see my family again. It's been forever, but now seems like as good a time as any to do that. The whole thing might be a drag though, so maybe I'll come straight back to Abyss.
I think I'll... yeah. Yep. I'll find a way to hit it big. Make tons of money. It's about time the indebted king of grappling finally paid down all those damn debts.
You could always ask my brother to help you out. Seems like a good way to go, really.
Borrow from Holst? That's a hard no. Wouldn't dare to trouble my best pal like that. That's enough about me. What are you going to do now, boss?
Who knows? For now, I'll take some time to think. My main concern at this point is taking care of my people back in my hometown.
You mean you'll continue your former line of work?
No need to beat around the bush. And yeah, that's the plan. It's what I'm best at. But I can approach things differently now. Change how I live. Find ways to thrive in peace, you know?
Makes sense to me. I wish you all the best.
Thanks, friend. Right back at you. We both deserve to live our lives freely. I may end up back home after all this, but I worry about how my rogues here would fare without a boss.
Always worrying about everyone but yourself. Stop with that already, yeah?
I'll look after Abyss.
There you go, being cute again.
Cute.
Though I'm certain if you're around, Abyss and everyone in it will be just fine.
Of course it will.
We'll keep an eye on Abyss as well. Isn't that right, you two?
I didn't know I had auto advance, but I was gonna say of course it'll be okay. I'm guarding it, plus the 3 house leaders, so you know it'll all work out.
Absolutely. That place is a treasure trove of secrets. Just try to keep me away.
I trust your motives are not all so selfish, Claude. And yes, we promise to protect Abyss in your absence. Boss! Boss! You can't just leave us high and dry like this! Where will we go? What will we do?
I should have known. Humans are adaptable creatures. We'll sort it out just fine.
Relax, will ya? We all know Yuri's not the type to abandon his pals. He's a guy who always turns up when he's needed. Hell, we should all be taking notes from him.
The world's a dreary place. We could all use a little help now and again.
As long as we're all here for each other as true friends, we can live our lives to the fullest. You heard me. You're all my friends. You matter. You always will.
That seems like a good note to end on.
Sure does. Get you later, pals. I mean, friends.
That basically means the same thing.
With that, I bid you farewell.
And So it is. Until next time, friend.
The end, I guess. Yeah. There you have it. Fire Emblem, 3 Houses, Cindered Shadows DLC complete. I had a feeling that we would finish the game today. Oh, there are no credits. Oh, there are literally no credits. You can now recruit Yuri in part 1 of the main story. Quests have also been added. Okay, I guess there are no credits. Okay. What happens if I load this? Weird side story data will not... Oh, you just complete. You continue it. No new game plus or anything. Alright, that's it. It's completed. I'm gonna take a few minutes. This actually works out nicely. We're 4 hours, almost 4 hours and 30 minutes in. I'm gonna take like 10, maybe 5 to 10 minutes to talk about the side story and basically review it. I was expecting credits, but that's fine. I'll talk about it now. But, alright, well, we can ignore some things like the presentation and the music because it's obviously the same thing as the main game. Although I will say about the music really quickly, Shackled Wolves and the final map theme are 2 of my favorite 3 Houses themes ever. So the tracks they did add for Cindered Shadows are good. They only added like 2 tracks. The tracks they added, which those 2, they're really good. Obviously we don't have to talk about the graphics. So really all we have to talk about is basically just the story, characters, and the maps I just want to talk about. So 3 main topics. I can get this done in like 5, maybe 10 minutes. But for starters, I want to talk about the maps. I think Cindered Shadows is... I think most of the maps are definitely good at doing what the game set out to do. I know that Cindered Shadows was made to be harder than 3 Houses because a lot of people complain that 3 Houses was too easy. I do think Cindered Shadows gets the job done on being more difficult than the main game. However, I do think there are some maps that are just like over the top ridiculous or just bad. I'm gonna go through all the maps and talk about them. Like, I think Chapter 3 is by far the worst map in the game. In the DLC. You cannot change my mind. And then I think Chapter 7, the final map really was just like pretty awful. Because all I found myself doing in the Chapter 7 map was just like, oh, the boss like, the boss has this move that like teleports everyone to random spaces and the boss itself to random spaces. And he keeps spawning Alfrics, like phantom Alfrics to kill. And if you don't kill them, he'll heal off them. So I just think I found myself attack, heal for a bit, and Linhardt only has physic. So Linhardt doesn't have fortify or anything to heal everyone. So I think that would have made it much better. I was looking forward to the final map, but honestly, it kind of let me down. It's really disappointing it let me down because I was all for the final map, but it let me down, and that's really unfortunate. But yeah, I think the final map is the second worst map. After that, I think Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is my third least favorite. So, my least favorite is Chapter 3. My second least favorite is Chapter 7. Chapter 4 is my third least favorite. Actually, no. Chapter 2 is probably my second least favorite. Chapter 2 is really annoying. It has a lot of reinforcements. And, there's like 4 corners of the map. And there's lots of reinforcements. And I think it's just very tedious. It's not really difficult. Just annoying to have to play. And I did you guys saw I lost to that map that one time and I had to redo it. It just takes way too long. So that one's my third least favorite. My fourth least favorite is Chapter 4. Definitely. I think that Chapter 4, I think Chapter 4 is fine. I definitely think it's pretty difficult because you have to, like, escape and everything. It could definitely be hard, and they spam reinforcements right at the end of the map, which I think is really annoying. So, that's definitely a pretty, kind of okay-ish map. It's not very good. I would say it's, like, the mid-tier map because there are 7 maps. And that's like the mid one. Like, it's not bad, not great, though. And I think number 5 is probably chapter 5. Because chapter 5 isn't bad. I think chapter 5 did well at being difficult and not annoying. But chapter 5 is just nothing special. It's just like a bunch of enemies. You have to kill them all. It's the one where Alfric is in your party. So chapter 5 is just not really anything special. So it's probably 3rd place because it's not great. It's not amazing. It's good, but it's not special. So that's why it's like number 3. Number 2 is definitely the first map, which is the one where you fight the Ashen Wolves. I think that one is really well done. Mainly because you fight the Ashen Wolves, and there are no, like, reinforcement spams, which is really nice. So it's a good introductory map into the DLC and kind of shows you how difficult it's going to be. So I do like that. And, give me a second. And yeah, I think that one's a good map at, kind of showing you. So yeah, chapter 1 is good at introducing you to Cindered Shadows. And I think chapter 6 is my favorite map. I think chapter 6 is definitely the best map in the game, IMO. I like the concept of having to go to the, red portals to deactivate the curse on the Ashen Wolves and to make them, like, not take damage. So, it's a really neat map. And also, just fighting in the Holy Tomb again is nice. So, I think that's a pretty... I don't know how to explain it. It's just, like... It's a good map. It's definitely not... It's not annoying. Doesn't really have any bad things. I'm glad that the AoE... Alfric's move only hit once. And I think Alfric having, like, Meteor and... The bulleting was a little annoying. I think Meteor is definitely, a challenge. So, I like it. But, that's pretty much it about the maps. So, my order is this. Chapter 3 is the worst map. Chapter 7 is the second worst map. Chapter 4 is the... No, Chapter 2 is the third most worst. Oh my goodness. I need to memorize this. So, Chapter 3 is in last place. Chapter 7 is in 6th place. 5th place is Chapter 2. 4th place is Chapter 4. 3rd place is Chapter 5. 2nd place is Chapter 1. And 1st place is Chapter 6. Those are my rankings of the maps. And that's probably going to be how it is forever. Now we get into the story and the characters. Characters really just, you know, go hand in hand. So, the story. It's not very good. The plot on its own. I don't think Cindered Shadows' plot is very good. I think the plot's lacking, and I think the fact that it's like a 10-hour... I beat this in 2 streams, so 9 to 10 hours. I think the fact that it's like an 8 to 12-hour adventure makes it kind of suffer. Like, the plot doesn't really get going until, like, Chapter 4. Like, I will say some things I liked about the plot. I did like the Ashen Wolves. The Ashen Wolves are phenomenal characters, and I think the plot being about the Ashen Wolves kind of works in its favor. I think that's the best thing about the plot. The fact that it works, like, it's about the Ashen Wolves. You learn about them. You learn about Abyss. I think that's a really neat thing. Like, I think the Ashen Wolves are great characters. I think Constance is my favorite Ashen Wolf. She's best girl also. Balthus is my second favorite Ashen Wolf. Then Happy is my third favorite, and then Yuri. Like, I wasn't really liking Yuri before. I found Yuri very suspicious, and the whole betrayal didn't shock me. But I do like the double betrayal. I love when characters double betray people. Like, you think that they betrayed you, but it turns out they weren't, and they just had a plan. Although, I do think Yuri could have told the other wolves about his plan, and all would have been fine. But that's kind of why he's my least favorite, but Yuri is still a really cool character. I like all the Ashen Wolves a lot. But yeah, I like the plot being about them. It just explains the secret of Abyss, and it tells you about the Ashen Wolves. That's the best thing about the plot. But I feel like everything else is just lacking. Ulfric is a pretty lame villain. I think the fact that he wants to bring back... I think Symphonia did it much better. The whole wanting to bring back the dead and revive the Gardas Martel with a vessel and all that, and the Chosen of Regeneration. I think Symphonia did it much better. I think Cindered Shadows is lacking. The whole, like, wanting to bring Violet's mom thing, I just wasn't feeling it. You know, it's just kind of weird how Also, another thing, it's kind of weird how Geralt isn't in this side story. Like, Geralt is alive in this side story. I don't know why they didn't add Geralt. I feel like it would have been better if they added Geralt and have his reaction to Citri's body and all that. So it's kind of lame how Geralt isn't in this. And yeah, I feel like the original plot the game is trying to tell, not very good. Also, I do feel like the game taking place pre-time skip is both a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because it kind of gives players a chance to play it without playing the main story, which is nice. However, I think it leaves a lot to be desired. I think doing that approach is good, but also doing that approach is bad, because if you do that approach, then they have to steer clear of spoilers for the main story, obviously, and they had to kind of, I feel like that might have been why Geralt wasn't in the main story, in the side story. And I feel like the fact that it's not related to the main story makes it where you have to, they had to, like, they couldn't rely on, like, other stuff, so they had to, like, disjoint it from the main story as much as possible. Also, I don't know, it feels kind of shoehorned in, Abyss, like, this whole time in Three Houses. This is a minor nitpick, by the way. It feels, minor. It feels, like, very, I can't really word it. Like, shoehorned in that Abyss is just suddenly, there's an underground of monastery, and Abyss is there. It just feels very, like, forced, you know? But I will say the Ashen Wolves are cool, and I'm glad the side story exists. I just think some things could have been patched out. But yeah, the story is pretty bad. I think the best thing about the story is the Ashen Wolves and their story, and I love the ending. I love that they're getting their freedom and they're going to do what they want to do. It's really nice. So I think that was handled very well. But, something else I want to say. I was talking about this mid-playthrough. I want to talk about, yeah, I want to say Alfric, by the way. I want to say Alfric's motives. Very, kind of weird how he wants to bring Violet's mom back. And, like, I don't know. Just kind of weird to me. Like, he made it sound like a... The way he made it sound was that he had a crush... I mean, obviously he had a crush on Violet's mom. But Geralt obviously ended up with her, and he just wants to bring her back. I don't know. Especially with no Geralt. I feel like it's just kind of creepy, I guess. I don't really know a good way to put it. But yeah, the story is very lacking. The Ashen Wolves are the saving grace. Like, they are the reason that the story isn't bad. The reason the story is not bad is because of the Ashen Wolves. They definitely saved the story for me. But, yeah. Something else I want to talk about really quickly, and then I'm going to wrap up. I think the side story... I think where it takes place, they're not very clear. All you know is that the Holy Tomb happens before it. So you could assume it takes place somewhere between Chapter 4 and 5. Give or take. But I think the story... I don't know, my mic is, yeah, it's better. Alright. Well, I don't know, like, I feel like the story would have been better if it took place, like... I think a great place for the story to take place would be the time skip. I think bringing the side story in between the time skip, like pre-time skip and the post-time skip, like Violet falls, right? Violet falls into a hole after defending the monastery. I think having Violet stumble upon Abyss that way would have been better. Like, it would have been a great way to bridge the gap of what Violet has been doing for 5 years. It would have been a great way to bridge that. And it seems like the perfect place, having a time skip and DLC be like, yo, this is what happens before the time skip and after the tragedy at the monastery. I think it'd be very nice, you know? I think it'd be a great place to put it. It'd just make more sense canonically, and also it wouldn't feel so forced, I feel. Because I feel like they had to force it into the main story, and I think that they did this to avoid spoilers, but I think in that case, they could have made it like Lineage and Legacies or Future Connected and Xenoblade. They should have just made it based on the story and the continuation. Or just take place before the time skip. I don't know. I get what they were going for, but I think they should have just made it like a continuation. Like, they should have made it like you should play the main story first. But I could see why they went that approach, but that's kind of why the story suffers. But honestly, that's all I want to say. It's like a 10-hour... It was only 10 hours for me, and... So I think that's enough. I'd rate the DLC, I don't know, like, I mean, it's 3 houses. I'd rate the DLC like a 7 out of 10. Would I ever play it again? Probably way down the line. Probably not for the channel. Like, on my own time, yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like the DLC doesn't really have much replayability because it's pretty linear. The characters, the Ashen Wolves are really like the only good thing, and some of the maps are good, and it is difficult. So if you're into that challenge, it's really nice. But I don't know. I might play it on hard mode once, and then that's it. Like, I don't really see much replayability in it. It's pretty short. It's you know, it's a good DLC. I think it's a good DLC. I think there are 2 ways to rate this and recommend it. If you are a fan of 3 Houses and were, I don't know about disappointed. If you were a fan of 3 Houses, I definitely think you should pick up the DLC. I think the DLC is a big fan. A big fan. I think the DLC is a big expansion for Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I think if you love the game, like, this is a no-brainer. You should pick it up. If you were like a little iffy on 3 Houses, I don't think this will change your mind. This is more of like continuation. The new classes are cool, the new characters are cool, but I don't think this will change your mind on 3 Houses. So if you're like new to 3 Houses, I wouldn't pick this up. I would really only pick this up if you really like the game or like the game a good amount, because this adds on to the game. You will not get much out of the story without 3 Houses. You will not get much out of the gameplay without 3 Houses. I feel like everything DLC does, it's good. It's good, don't get me wrong, but that's because I love 3 Houses. 3 Houses is a good game. 3 Houses is a phenomenal game. So, obviously, I love this DLC. I mean, I don't even know. I don't think I would say I love it. I like the DLC. It's good. I rate it a 7 out of 10. While I would rate the game like an 8 or 9 out of 10. But yeah, I think the DLC is good for people who love 3 Houses, which I love 3 Houses, so it's a no-brainer for me. But yeah, that's where I stand. But yeah, those of you watching on YouTube and Twitch, I hope you all enjoyed this short playthrough. It was short. This is like, what, part 29? I might make this part 30. I don't know. I might make this playthrough be 30 parts exactly. That'd be pretty neat. But yeah, 29, 30 parts, which is a 10-hour journey. 10 hours, that's good. It's a good DLC. But yeah, it was a shorter one, but I finally have my first 3 Houses playthrough finished, because I can't have a 3 Houses playthrough finish, I feel, without this DLC. So, it's good to have that. But yeah, those of you watching, hope you all enjoyed. I really enjoyed my time with this DLC. I enjoyed replaying it for the channel, and the Ashen Wolves are all great, and I will be back with NG Plus of 3 Houses, but I'm probably going to play some other Fire Emblem games first. I definitely see myself playing another Fire Emblem game before 3 Houses again. So it's going to be a bit of a break before my NG Plus of this game. I'm going to play another Fire Emblem game first. I don't know which one. I've been doing some research, and I have sources. So that won't be for a while, though. I have to focus on Tales of Vesperia, finishing that up. I'm going to focus more on Strikers, and we're going to get back to Heroes too. But yeah, for Twitch... yeah, for Twitch, tomorrow is Tuesday. I'm going to be playing Strikers. And honestly, I'm going to be real with you. I didn't expect to finish the DLC today. I thought I was going to have to play this like Wednesday for like an hour and finish it. But no, we finished it today. So, I think I'm going to play Strikers Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I think I'm going to do Strikers 3 days in a row. And then Friday we'll be back with Vesperia, because as I said, I want to finish Strikers, and then I can get back to Heroes 2 and Vesperia back to back, and then more playthroughs. You'll send info for other FE games? Thanks, Raptor. I didn't know you were still here. But anyway, yeah, tomorrow's going to be Strikers and Wednesday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday are all going to be Strikers. And no matter what, if we don't finish on Thursday, I'm still going to do Vesperia on Friday. So, I think until Strikers is finished, it's going to be a lot of... Until Strikers is finished, it'll be a lot of Strikers with a slight priority on Vesperia. When Strikers was finished... When Strikers is finished, I will be back with the Heroes 2. I promise. Heroes 2 will come back probably next week. I'm hoping Strikers could be finished in like 3 to 4 streams. Oh, you were in a meeting, so you were lurking? That's fair. That's fair. Always nice to have, like, lurking rather than, you know. It's fine. I'm glad. I don't know what else to say to that. But yeah, cool you're still here, dude. But, yeah. That's it for Three Houses. Again, I'll be back with another Fire Emblem game. Hopefully not too long. But again, I'm going to have Raptor will send me the info on which game to play next. So, yeah. You could send me it on Discord, Raptor. Either DM me or put it in video games, either or. But yeah. Yeah, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday is Strikers. All Strikers. And then Friday will be Vesperia, and we'll see how we go from there. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I did enjoy Cindered Shadows a lot. It was a great DLC. It was great to play it and get it on the channel. And yeah, I'll see you all next time.